Hi, this is Kaelin, and this is our first episode of Ask the Trainer. I'm super excited, so I'm going to be answering questions, hi Juno, that you guys have asked me in the DMs today. So I got a ton of questions, and I'm going to try to get to them all in these Ask the Trainer vlogs, but I'm going to start off with the first 3 that I received today. So the very first question is, hi, I just got a French Bulldog puppy that is 3 months old and I'm struggling with potty training. I praise him when he goes outside and give him treats and take him out often, but it seems I still catch him peeing on the floor after he was just out. The vet also recommended only giving him water 3 times a day while potty training, which I've been doing. So this seems to be an issue specifically with French Bulldogs that I've seen, but with every single puppy. The biggest mistake that people make with puppies is giving their puppies too much freedom. So if you're just looking at the potty training aspect, a dog wants to go to the bathroom where it's most comfortable for him to go. So if he has the opportunity to go inside, he's going to. So I get this all the time, that people are like, oh, I was just outside with him for 20 minutes and he wouldn't go. He knows where he's supposed to go, and then the second that we got back inside, he went on the floor. And dogs are smart, so if they know that they're gonna get the opportunity to go the second they get inside, they're going to go. So what you have to do is take away that opportunity. And this is why I'm such a huge advocate of crate training, because crate training and potty training go hand in hand. So if you utilize your crate, if you're utilizing the crate properly, the crate becomes the control area, the one area anywhere that you can guarantee that your puppy is not going to have an accident in. So when you go outside and you know the puppy has to go potty, if he does not go when outside, he goes back in the crate for 5 to 10 minutes, then straight outside again after that and try again. So basically what you're gonna wanna do is make your dog earn freedom. Instead of just being given total freedom, the dog should only earn freedom once he has gone to the bathroom outside, and you can guarantee no accidents. So I hope that helps with that question. The other side of that question about only giving him water 3 times a day, I think it's good to give limited water. I wouldn't say, I mean, if the vet said only 3 times a day, you can definitely follow that. But I think it's just good to have water in the crate, because when the dog is in the crate, you're gonna go straight out every single time after when you let the dog out of the crate. So I think that's a good rule of thumb. Or just keep it limited. If you want the dog to have access to water all day, you just have to be very aware of when the dog is drinking water, knowing when he's gonna have to go to the bathroom. But limiting water and just keeping it controlled is definitely a good idea too. So I hope that helps with the potty training. Another thing is that you did mention that you catch him in the act of potty training, or of having an accident. So when you catch a dog in the act, that's actually the only way that you can correct an accident, is when you catch the dog in the act of it. So when you catch him in the act, all you're gonna wanna do is run to him, pick him up, he's going to stop going. So even if he's in the midst of it, you can tell him no, but you have to redirect him then to where it is okay to go. So then you want to direct him outside. Clean up the mess, and that's literally all the steps there is to correcting an accident. You never want to rub his nose in it. I've had people say, like, if he has an accident inside, pick up his poop and put it, where you want him to go. I haven't seen that ever helping. Or ever really working. So my best advice is literally just grab him, redirect him to where he is supposed to go. Even if he's completely emptied his bladder and you think he's all done going, bring him outside, so that the next time he's going to associate where he's supposed to go. So I hope that helps with the potty training question. Let's see here. The next question that I have is, My dog jumps up on every person that comes through the door. How do I get her to stop doing this? So this is one of the most common behavioral issues that I see for sure. And with every single behavior that you want to correct, I always tell people one of my golden rules is that redirection is key to shaping behavior. So behind every single bad behavior or behavior you don't want your dog doing, there's a reason behind it. You have to think about why that reason is. We're so quick to jump to, hey Grizzly, we're so quick to jump to, I don't like that, don't do it, stop. And that's not going to fix it for the next time. So what you want to do is think about, why is my dog jumping on people? Well, he's doing it because he's excited to see that person. He wants attention from that person that's walking through the door. So what would I rather have him do instead of jumping on that person? How about sit in front of that person and have a controlled introduction? So there's a little bit more that goes into redirection when it's paired with self-control. But what I would do if your dog jumps on people when walking through the door is you can do one of two things. So if you don't have the time to work on training before the next person comes in, I would suggest putting your dog on a leash, because letting your dog go up to that person without listening to you first, like sitting in front of you, is like giving your dog a treat for not listening, because that person is the ultimate reward. So the best thing that you can do for excitement is shift that focus off of the thing that your dog is excited about. So shift his excitement off of that person by turning it to you. So you can use treats, a toy, whatever it takes to shift his focus off. So I would leash the dog, get the dog to sit and focus on you, and then allow your dog to go and say hi. And make the dog right away. You have the dog on a leash, so it's very controlled. And right away, you can get the dog to sit in front of the person. So a lot of people think that when they have their dog on a leash and work in this way, that the dog isn't learning anything. And people don't want to do this because they're like, oh, I want to be able to have my dog off leash though. But to be able to get there, we have to use our control. So if it becomes a routine that on the leash your dog can't run and jump on that person, the dog has to sit and check in with you first. Once that becomes a routine and the dog is doing it every single time and following right away on the leash, then you can work on it without the leash. But first you have to establish that routine using your control. The other thing that you can do is teach your dog to go to their place, go to his spot, something like that. Have a little dog bed, in eyesight of the doorway. But a natural instinct for a dog is when the doorbell rings or when they hear a knock on the door is to charge at the door. So that excitement is already building up before that person even walks through the door. And the more excited that a dog gets, the further the dog is from self-control. So it's a lot harder for a dog to control himself when he's super excited. So what I would do is when that doorbell rings or there's a knock on the door, tell your dog to go to his spot. Teach him, go to your place, go to your spot, place, spot, anything like that, go to your bed. First teach that command, and then you use a stay or wait, and practice that without anybody even being at the door. So that is a huge thing that I always stress to my clients, is that you have to develop a good base of teaching a dog something in their less excited state. So once you develop a good routine with nobody there, you can add in that extra exciting variable of somebody there. So it's a lot easier to teach a dog something in their less excited state and then apply it in their most excited state. A lot of people jump to trying to teach dogs things in their most excited state because that's the only time that they're going to have to use it in. And it's nearly impossible to teach a dog something when they're that excited. So I definitely recommend practicing before you'll actually need to use it. So I hope that helps with that one. That was a lot of information. Let's see. One more. Okay. So we're going to answer one more question today. So here's one. I have a training question for you. How can I get my dog to stop pulling on the leash? Also, I try to run with him, but when I do, he starts biting the leash and thinks it's a game. Thoughts on how to fix that? Thanks. So my biggest piece of advice for any single leash walking behavior, whether it be pulling on the leash, reacting, barking, lunging at other dogs, all the way up to aggression, where I start with is focus. I am such a huge advocate of focus because focus is so lacking in every aspect of training a dog. I always say if you were to teach your dog one thing, it should be to focus on you. If you always had your dog's focus, you can get your dog to do anything and you can prevent your dog from doing anything. Outside, once a dog walks out the door, naturally a dog has 0% focus on their owner. If your dog is focusing on you when out on a walk, he's most likely not pulling. He's most likely not looking at that other dog, lunging and barking. So focus is huge. That would be the very first thing that I would do. And I have a blog post on this and I call it the check-in method. So literally just calling your dog's name and getting your dog to check in with you. Grizzly, yes. Rewarding him for that. Dogs get so distracted by the environment out there. So just starting with that check-in method is huge. And then obviously teaching your dog like a heel command is really important just to ensure that your walks can be enjoyable with the dog. But as far as the biting on the leash goes, whenever I switch my, whenever I'm working with a dog on the biting on the leash and we just simply switch to the focus aspect, we have the dog's mind shifted so he's not going to be biting at the leash anymore. So just that focus aspect is going to help in so many areas. One, when your dog is looking up at you and focusing on you, he's most likely heeling at your side. Two, dogs can't multitask. So if their job is to focus, look up here, focus, he's not going to be trying to bite at the leash. His only job is going to be making eye contact with you. So I hope that helps. There's more to the heeling command, of course, but that's definitely a good starting point with just helping in all areas of walks. So I hope that helps. We've got a lot more questions to answer, so I'm going to be doing the Ask the Trainer Q&As once a week. So keep DMing me your questions. And I will get to all of them. Okay, thank you.